Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what is the game plan for tomorrow for the FOMC. So tomorrow, the U.S. Fed, led by Fed Chair Powell, they are going to announce the rate cuts for the month of December. So are we going to get a rate cut, or are we going to get no rate cut tomorrow? Also, is the Fed chair after the rate cut decision going to be hawkish or dovish? So that is the $1 million question. And based on that, are we going to get a rally in the market or a sell-off in the market? So without much ado, I'll just go straight to the charts here and show you guys what I think might happen tomorrow. And based on that, we shall position ourselves strategically to capitalize on that. So first off, let me go to the Fed Watch tool to figure out what is going on here with Fed Watch tool here, and let's check it out. So far, based on the Fed Watch tool site here that we're seeing here, the probability of a rate cut tomorrow, which is going to be December 10th, is 88.6, which is approximately 90%, meaning that there's a high probability that there's going to be an interest rate cut. So the market has already priced in a rate cut tomorrow, right? And that rate cut is the consensus is that it's going to be 25 basis points again, right? But the key thing is that it's going to come during Powell's press conference, right? In that press conference, the questions that journalists are going to ask him is that, are we going to get more rate cuts next year? So that is what is going to move the market, right? So if Powell says, well, we are not sure about, there's no guarantee of a rate cut next year, then that's going to cause the market to sell off, and it can sell off massively, right? Or if they say, well, we are going to think about it to figure out members of the board are not aligned to cut interest rate next year, then that's going to be a hawkish tone, right? So, but if it comes out and say, yeah, we think that there's going to be more interest rate cuts in 2026, depending on how the economy does, and then also based on economic data, that is good news for the market and is going to cause the market to rally. So, I'll go to the charts here and figure out to show you guys what I think might happen tomorrow. But before then, let's look at today's performance in the stock market. So this is the heat map here from Fomc. So basically, you have Microsoft was flat. We have Apple, which was basically flat. It was red. Amazon was green. Tesla was green. So here we see the semiconductors doing well, except Nvidia, which sold off. The banks did not do well. You saw the JPM red. Fargo was red as well, and some of the financials were red. Meta was red. So the market was not really. It was like more or less like a neutral day, right? I would say a neutral day because we have more or less like half green, half red, and some flat and neutral and flat movements in the market. So tomorrow is when we are going to see the big moves, right? So this is what I'm looking at to happen tomorrow. So this is the chart of the SPY, that's the SPY. So tomorrow, as a technical analysis trader, what I'm going to be watching is, by the way, you are invited to trade with us live tomorrow at the FOMC. So join our free community here as shown on the banner. And then we are going to see the Zoom link to join us tomorrow at 1:45 p.m. to trade FOMC live. So if you are an options trader, if you're a futures trader, we are going to trade FOMC live at that time. So we are going to start at 1:45 p.m. and before the rate cut news is released at 2 p.m. And then we are going to wait for Powell's press conference at 2:30, and that's where the big moves is going to come, either to the upside or to the downside. So before then, this is what I'm checking out. This is what I'm going to look at in terms of a game plan. From this is the daily chart here from November 21st. The market has been rallying One of the reasons why this market sold off was Fed members saying that they don't think they were going to cut interest rates on December 10th. And then they came back, they changed their tone from a hawkish tone to a dovish tone, and they started saying that, well, we think there's going to be a high likelihood for interest rate cuts in December, and that caused the market to rally. So this is already buy the rumor. You see this move here? It's called buy the rumor. So the market has already priced in the interest rate cuts. So if the news comes out tomorrow that interest rates have been cut by 25 basis points, that's not a big deal. The market already was pricing in that and it's already forward thinking, right? But what comes next is what is important, right? As in, is Fed Chair Powell going to sound hawkish or dovish tomorrow? That is going to be the thing that is going to move the market. So with that in mind, I believe, like, if I'm a betting person, I believe that there's going to be some kind of volatility in the market tomorrow. And I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if at the end of tomorrow, we see SPY trading at 675 or even lower, right? That is possible. So for SPY to come all the way here, and what's going to happen is that this can shake off people. People are going to say, well, we are not going to get a Santa Claus rally anymore because this has sold off. And then, boom, they buy it back up and send the market up to make new all-time highs and close the year on a high note with a blow off top, right? That's what I think is going to happen. So the line in the sand for tomorrow for the bulls and the bears is this upsloping trend line. Below this upsloping trend line and below this 681 level, that is the 9 EMA on the daily, is going to be a short to the downside. We'll look to short SPY targeting this gap fill, right? So here's the gap entry, this is the gap fill. Those are the key targets, right? However, if Powell sounds dovish and positive and provides favorable press conference that the market likes, then we are going to see a push and a blast through this triangle pattern here, this wedge pattern, and then we are going to go up and hit all-time highs. So all-time highs could be on the table tomorrow, and in the same way, we could also break down and come to 675. So it's a very simple trade plan, right? So either we hold this upsloping trend line tomorrow, or we break it and start heading down, or we just blast through and make new all-time highs. Okay. Also, another thing that I'm watching is that, which is concerning to me, I've been talking about this for some time now, is VIX. So the VIX finally came here to this demand zone that I talked about in the last video and held and popped, right? That has been what has caused the market to sell, the SPY to sell. And right now we are at this critical level, right? 1721. 1721 is like a breakout zone. So if you look at this closely, this is the support level for May 16th. If SPY is able to crack through it, which is also the 100 SMA. If SPY is able to trade above it tomorrow, trust me, we are going to get here. It's going to be easy for it to blast through and get to $18. If we get that $18 move, that is to the 50 SMA on the daily, then you are going to get that gap fill, right? That gap fill or beyond on SPY. So that is what I'm watching tomorrow. So based on how this VIX chart is looking, it's looking to me that it's bullish. It's bullish in my opinion, based on this, right? So if this is bullish, then that's bearish for the general market. That is SPY. So do not be surprised to see a sell-off tomorrow, and it could be a massive one, whereby I think what's going to happen is that the institutions are going to use that to shake off people, shake off the weak hands, sell this to this area. They're going to say, the Santa Claus rally is not going to happen this year. People start selling, running away, and then the following day they switch it and push it up significantly high. Also, one other thing that I've been watching is volume, right? The last time we had a high volume in the market was above average volume in the market was November 20th, and it was a sell-off, this big sell-off here, and then the market bounced, right? on the Friday. So members of our community in the swing trading rich alerts swing trading service, we caught this move here on SPY and other like ETFs, and caught the move here to this area, right? So we've been over here on that day, on the Friday where we traded live. I told members that we are bottom, that SPY was going to bounce here, and this was a nice time to buy your favorite stocks or your favorite ETFs and ride it to the upside, because we are heading back to all-time highs. So we got very close to all-time highs, previous all-time highs, but we did not quite get there, but it was very, very, very close, right? If you look at this, it was very, very close. So this is 688.43. This was 689, so very close. Okay, so over here, I think that if you look at the volume since these 2 days have been below average. So you see this white line here. This is the average volume, right? So these are all volume bars, volume traded for the day, like number of shares traded for the day. And you can see that we've been trading below volume for the longest time. The closest we came to an average volume was last week Friday, and since then we've been trading within this range, right? We're trading below average. So is smart money institution going to come in tomorrow and step in the market again? I think we are going to see that. And over here, if you can see, if you can read this closely, we are getting an increasing volume, right? Like the red bars are increasing. So do not be surprised to see a long red bar tomorrow, a long red bar like this tomorrow, which cracks the average volume area and then goes higher, right? Something like that, right? Something above average. So that is possible tomorrow. So I'm prepared for either long or short, and I'm going to trade it accordingly based on this trade plan. It's a very simple trade plan. Above this upsloping trend line, we are going to lean long, go long, and stay long. Below this upsloping trend line, we are going to lean short, stay short, and go short. Go short and stay short, right? Targeting this gap fill. If we hold this, then we are going to target this area, this previous highs from Friday, and then from there we can aim and dream about all-time highs. So that is what I'm looking at here. That is what I believe that might happen tomorrow. So we are going to be ready to execute on it, whichever way they decide to go. So I believe that institutions are not buying here. They are not really putting a lot of money here in this. They are waiting for Powell's press conference. That's where they are going to use all their bullets in their chamber to attack the market, either to the upside or to the downside. But based on how things are setting up, so over here, if you look at this, this is what? This is your high. This is what? Your lower high. Lower high is a bearish confirmation pattern. We have this rounding top. We have this topping tail. Boom. We are going to come here at least to this area. So that is how I'm thinking. That's how I'm going to get ready for the sell-off if it happens. If it rallies, we are also going to be ready for that as well. Okay. Next chart that I'm going to look at, which has been the canary of the coal mines in recent times before every big sell-off, has been the DIA, the Dow Jones Index, right? That's the ETF. So over here, you can clearly see what looks like a head and shoulders pattern, right? So head and shoulders pattern is typically a bearish reversal pattern, right? So with DIA tomorrow, if we trade below this 9 EMA on the daily, then we are going to come down here. We are going to target, at least we are going to come here to this 20 SMA, right? So at least 20 SMA is will be my short-term target for this to come to, and then after that we can aim for the gap fill at 471. So that's the area where I'm looking for this to come to if tomorrow Powell is dovish and the market starts selling off. Okay, and then the next one is the QQQ, the Nasdaq, right? So the QQQ as well has also shown signs of, so this is your high, this is what your lower high. So this is a bearish confirmation pattern, and you see that we have the topping tail and then we have this rounding top, right? Telling me that there's a possibility for this to crack tomorrow and come down and target this area either tomorrow or either in the days ahead before the end of the week, right? So with regards to QQQ, the main line in the sun is this bow tie trend line. I call this bow tie trend line. Like on Friday, those that traded with us live, I mentioned that I'm not sure that QQQ was going to close above this bow tie trend line, right? It broke it, but it couldn't close above it, meaning that it's showing weakness, right? So this is a critical trend line. So as long as QQQ does not crack above this bow tie trend line, that's the intersection of two trend lines forming like a bow tie, then we are heading down, right? So what I'm looking tomorrow to see is that is QQQ going to hold the 9 EMA? If it can hold the 9 EMA tomorrow, then it has a fighting chance to push and blast through this. But that move is not going to come just like that. It needs to come with massive buying pressure, massive buying volume, right? Over here, we can clearly see that we have been trading below average volume for almost the last 10 days. We've been trading below average volume. So we need more volume to come in from the bulls to push this up. Otherwise, the bears are going to take over and push this down to at least this area where the 50 is, right? So a move to the 50 SMA is a possibility. So I will not be shocked if we see QQQ at 612 either tomorrow, by end of day tomorrow, or by Friday. That is a possibility, right? So that's an area where if it comes to and buy a step in, I'm going to look to buy. And then I believe that that's going to take us to the new previous all-time high, new all-time high, and then blow off top, right? So that is how I'm positioning for tomorrow. I'm going in neutral. If the long sets up, take the trade. If the short sets up, take the trade. But I'm not going in thinking only short or long. No, you don't go into FOMCs that way. You go into FOMC with a clear, comprehensive trade plan with a long and a short. So that is the game plan for QQQ. So as long as it doesn't break above this bow tie trend line, forget it. We are going to be either we are going to chop around for some time, do bullish consolidation, or sell, right? So the sell is more likely the longer this stays below this bow tie trend line. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is that I'm going to talk about a few stocks that I'm going to be watching tomorrow. That is if Powell is dovish tomorrow, I'm going to look to trade Upstart. So Upstart is an interest rate sensitive stock, and you saw this falling wedge pattern here. And here you can see that we have gone up in this move like this, and we are here. Today we put in like a topping tail candle. So this is a signal of short-term reversal. However, if tomorrow the FOMC Powell's press conference is good and the market likes it, I believe that this can blast through and it has nothing but blue skies. This can get to the 200 in no time. So this yellow line here is the 200 SMA. So we could get a squeeze tomorrow, a massive squeeze on this if is able to blast through this 48.69 level, and if the FOMC is positive. So I'm going to be watching this interest rate sensitive stock tomorrow, and I'm going to look to trade it accordingly if it triggers. Also, there's another stock that I'm watching here. It's a tech stock. It's a crazy stock that has done a parabolic move. This is absolutely incredible. So this is Lumentum Holdings Inc. Light. That's the like bigger symbol, light. So here, if you look at this from April lows, right, to where it is now, this stock has done a crazy move. It has gone up by 671%. Okay. So what does this company do? Like a question, $1 million question is that what does this company do? So it says that the company manufactures and sells optical and photonic products in the Americas, Asia, Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, right? So it's also engaged in cloud computing, cloud networking, and then AI infrastructure provider. So he has all these data centers and all that stuff. So anything to do with AI these days is lucrative for stocks, right? It's going to go up. So what I'm looking at for this is that I'm looking to short this when the opportunity presents itself, right? I believe that this has gone parabolic. So if I go to the weekly time frame, this is what I do. This is where we got the breakout, right? So from the breakout to where it is, it has moved up by 7 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you count this, right? So I believe that is at a point where it's tired, right? It's tired. And I believe that it can get maybe one more green candle on the weekly, or maybe it starts pulling back, right? So the moment I get a confirmation of this pulling back, I'm going to look to short this, right? So it's similar to what I did here on I shorted Sandix, right? So Sandix, this is something similar. It did this parabolic move, and then it got to a point where it got this topping tail candle. So for this one, for light, I'm looking for something like a topping tail candle somewhere here, or red wipe out green. Then I'm going to target this area, first profit target, and then we can go down. So this can collapse spectacularly if it shows weakness. So that's where I want to position myself to target this. So this is going to be a low risk trade, because once the top is in, how far can it go? That's a question that you have to ask. So you have more advantage to short it than to buy it at this point, because it has done a parabolic move, right? So that's about it for tonight. I hope this was helpful, and trade safely tomorrow in the FOMC. And if you want to trade with me live, free of charge, there's no charge about it, free of charge. You can join me live to trade the FOMC. We can day trade it together to capture the moves from Powell's press conference and the whole FOMC volatility in general. Okay, have a good one. Take care now. Bye for now. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, please do me a favor, share this with your friends and family, your network, anybody that is into the stock market, investing, trading, etc. Please share this link with them so that they can also get the information before tomorrow's FOMC. Have a good night. Bye for now.